Presidential tweet calling the original recommendation horrible and very unfair. Cannot allow this miscarriage of justice. Late today, the president said he had not intervened in the case.
No, I didn't speak to the justice. I'd be able to do it if I wanted. I have the absolute right to do it. I stay out of things to a degree that people wouldn't believe, but I didn't speak to him. I thought the recommendation was ridiculous. I thought the whole prosecution was ridiculous.
And now all four of the line prosecutors in the Stone case have quit the case, and at least one of them has quit his job entirely. Matt Zatoposky covers the Justice Department for the Washington Post, and he joins us now from their newsroom. Matt, we just heard the president say he had nothing to do with this. What's your reporting tell you about how this happened and what the sequence of events was?
Yeah, the Justice Department also denies that there was any contact between the White House and them in the last day or two when this all transpired. Here's our best understanding so far. In recent days, there had been great argument internally about what to do with the Stone sentence.
Sentencing recommendation for Stone. This followed, of course, public criticism by President Trump. Let's go to CNN senior justice correspondent Evan Perez. Evan, what more are you learning? This extraordinary matter of the four prosecutors resigning from the case even before Roger Stone is sentenced.
Right, Jake. Look, this does not happen. Prosecutors don't resign just days before they go to sentencing after a case that they've worked so hard on. And so that's one of the things that we asked in a briefing to a senior Justice Department official who just gave a briefing to reporters here at the Justice Department. They were trying to downplay the disagreement behind the scenes, saying that the Justice Department makes adjustments, so to speak, all the time. But the official did acknowledge that these four prosecutors were appearing to be resigning in protest. And he said that, to him at least, it was surprising because to the Justice Department officials, the top officials here in this building, they think it was simply a case of miscommunication, that essentially these prosecutors recommended 7 to 9 years, which was, they believe, a very harsh sentence for Roger Stone, and that they should have recommended something much, much less, which is what the new court filing, what their new recommendation is. And it appears, Jake, that behind the scenes, what was going on was simply a disagreement over whether or not Roger Stone should be punished more harshly because he was witness tampering, because he was threatening one of the witnesses in this case. And so that appears to have made the big difference between, say, 3 to 4 years, which would have been likely sentence, and 7 to 9 years, which was the recommendation that the prosecutors made in their court filing last night. So the Justice Department now is saying that
it was a miscarriage of justice. Then the dominoes began to fall. The Justice Department pulled back the original sentencing recommendation, 7 to 9 years. Mid-morning, Trump got on camera.
I thought the recommendation was ridiculous. I thought the whole prosecution was ridiculous.
Early afternoon, the Justice Department came with a much milder set of recommendations. No suggestions of time to be served for Stone for making 5 false statements to investigators, 1 count of obstructing Congress, and 1 count of witness tampering. The new recommendations undercut the prosecutor's sentencing arguments, and all 4 quit the case in protest.
They're viewing this as their independent judgment is being taken away from them, and as a result, they don't want anything to do with it. I respect them for that decision.
The president denies he had anything to do with the Department of Justice rewrite of the sentencing recommendations. Scott Fredrickson is a former federal prosecutor.
Fundamental rule of the Department of Justice is not to interfere politically with criminal prosecutions, especially on behalf of the president.
Amid all the uproar, there remains a constant, the judge, Amy Berman Jackson. She will pronounce sentence on February 20th.
She is a lifetime appointed judge. She is beholden to no one.
No matter what the sentence, Roger Stone is a longtime pal and political operative in Trump world. Word in Washington is the president will eventually pardon Roger Stone.
As critics say, a decision. Breaking news in the case against Roger Stone, the longtime ally of President Trump, who was convicted on 7 counts, including obstruction and witness tampering. Well, late today, all 4 career federal prosecutors who worked the case abruptly quit. As critics say, a decision to reject their sentencing recommendation was an abuse of power. Jeff Begays reports tonight from Washington.
This afternoon, President Trump said he did not ask the Justice Department to lower its sentencing recommendation for his friend Roger Stone.
I thought the recommendation was ridiculous. I thought the whole prosecution was ridiculous.
The controversy started yesterday when prosecutors asked a judge to sentence Stone to 7 to 9 years in prison. President Trump responded overnight on Twitter, calling it horrible and a miscarriage of justice. The Justice Department's decision today to argue for a shorter sentence and overrule their own prosecutors prompted 4 of them to resign in an apparent protest. How unusual is it for DOJ to reverse course like this?
In this case, it's stunning.
Scott Frederickson is a former federal prosecutor.
And a fundamental rule of the Department of Justice is not to interfere politically with criminal prosecutions, especially on behalf of the president.
And late today, the Justice Department said that it would leave the decision on Stone's sentencing to the judge in this case, and that the original 7 to 9 year sentencing recommendation would not be appropriate. Nora.
What an incredible story, Jeff. Thank you.